I just had Maria Corina Machado, who from Venezuela, right? And her and, is it Edmundo? Can you see what Edmundo's last name is? I want to say correctly. I think it's Gonzalez or it's with a G. Edmundo Gonzalez Urrutia, yes. So I had Maria Corina Machado on, who ran against Maduro in Venezuela. And according to their chart, they ended up winning 67% to Maduro getting 31, right? And while I'm interviewing her, she's sitting there and internet sucks. I can't understand anything she's saying. It was weak, right? And I said, people are no longer interested in Venezuela. You're waiting for Kamala Harris and Biden to help you out. They're not going to help you out. Maduro the other day just got up and said, Venezuela and Iran are uniting to be on the same page of war against the West. Wait a minute. He's wanting to remove sanctions, yet you coming back and talking shit about U.S. after you asked them to remove sanctions? Like, what are you doing here? I said, you got to get out there. And she says, no, it's working for us. I said, no one's caring about Venezuela right now because there's not a lot of stories about it. And she says, I disagree with you. I said, I totally get you disagree with me, but let me give you a case study. Here's a case study. The case study that worked, which was unbelievable case study. I'm in Argentina 6 years ago. I don't know, 4, 5, 6 years ago, let's just say. And I'm going around and I'm always interested in what the people are going to say. So tell me about your government. Oh my God, 30% of us work to take care of the other people that are no longer working and they're just getting handouts and we're so sick of it. This place is getting destroyed. This used to be the Paris of the West, whatever they called it. Argentina had some phrase that they're giving us, like the Europe of the West. Argentina is France of the West. I said, oh, okay. I said, but how come nothing's happening with it? And they're like, oh, we've lost hope. We've lost hope. We've lost hope. Then shows up a psycho, crazy competitor who's unreasonable and is willing to go to war up against these bureaucrats and aristocrats, and he's sensational. It's very different. Javier Milei. What does he do? He has the brass to go in front of Klaus Schwab and talk about capitalism. He has the brass to get up there and say, afuera, 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 all these stuff that he's doing. Everybody around the world is following this guy. And he wins the election? What? And he lowers inflation? And he's able to get the economy back to a little bit of normal and is able to go up against all these guys. And how did he pull it off? He was able to inject hope into the Argentinian people. When I see something like that with the turnout, it tells me Iranians, and by the way, I'm going to transition into this question here, and I got a few other things I still want to go through, but I saw a video you posted, I think 2 weeks ago, where it went viral. And if you remember the video, I'm sure you know which one I'm talking about. You're speaking in Farsi, so I can't show it. I'm sure most of the people watching this, a lot of them will be Iranian.
We subtitled it in Hebrew and in Arabic.
I know you did. But the last time you and I spoke, I pressed you a little bit at the end about, hey, nobody understands what it is to be the son of your father, the grandson of your Reza Khan and all these other things. Do you want the job? Do you want to go back? Do you want to go back to Iran? Do you want to go back to being that? And you gave your story, and then I pushed back again. You gave your version, and then finally you're like, I'm willing to help. I'm willing to be a vessel, but I don't want to move my family back, or I don't want to go back and be that person. Has anything with your position changed since the last time you and I spoke?
Look, I've always said that my life is dedicated to the liberation of my country, and I've always considered the finish line be the day that Iranians go to the poll and elect their next future democratic government.
But
as an
you.
instrument, as an agent of change who has been called upon, I'm not shying away from this responsibility. There's a tremendous amount of expectations that my fellow compatriots have in the role I can play to help them in that transition. And, I would stick to this line and say, I'm not going to put the carriage before the horse. I think we need to get to the point that then everybody, including yours truly, can say, okay, what's next? But we need to get to that point. And I need to remain focused because I don't want people to be distracted as to a bunch of hypotheticals.
You think that way has worked?
Pardon?
You think that strategy has worked?
Well, certainly I get the feedback from Iranians that is positive because they see that I'm not doing this for me. I'm doing it for them. That's a big difference.
But again, so you have to realize, I would like to see, you and I have a similar desire. I do as well for different reasons. However, the difference is the following. Do you think, are there people that you believe would make good leaders for everybody to get behind in Iran? Are there people that you know and you see that you can endorse and vouch for and say, if that guy did it, I'd get behind him. If this guy did it, I'd get behind him. If he did it, I'd get behind him. Do you have certain names that you see?
I'm certain that Iranians don't lack talent in every aspect of managing and running a country, whether they are entrepreneurs, whether they are specialists or scientists or good managers and what have you. They just need to have an opportunity to show up. Under this regime, they could not. All the talent that we've had either been forced to leave the country because of persecution. They had to live away from their country as exiles. They all migrated and became citizens in other countries. And most of them realized that so long as this regime is there, all of these dreams and hopes for rebuilding our country will be unattainable as long as the regime is in place. But immediately, once this regime is gone, everything changes. All the circumstances are provided for all of us, including myself, to be able to help and rebuild our country. But I don't think we need to start putting titles and positions to anything. I think that has to be a process, which is why I said, look, rather than jumping the gun, let's focus on what needs to happen. I'm prepared to lead this transition.
If you were interested in this topic with Crown Prince Reza Pahlavi, odds are you're Middle Eastern, maybe you're Iranian, Armenian, Persian, maybe you're living in the Middle East, or maybe you're an American that wants peace in the Middle East. The last 13 years, I wrote this book called The Academy. It's a very interesting thing. I talk about his father. I talk about moments why the revolution took place with this character named Asher, who is half Assyrian, half Armenian, and he gets recruited to the secret society. And the villain in the book is the former deputy director of SAVAK, who is in the book breaking down why the fall of Iran took place, what mistakes that were made. And very interesting what happened when I wrote this book. I never wanted to publish this book until I finished building my insurance company. I published a couple months ago. Something very strange happened when I was at the tail end of finishing this book. I get a call from somebody saying the former deputy director of SAVAK wants to have a call with you. I said, the former who? Deputy director of SAVAK. They don't know the villain is in this book. That person had read the book. I have a Zoom with the deputy director of SAVAK. He reads the book, calls me back immediately. I need to have another part 2 with you. Did you write this book about me? Am I the villain in the book? I need to come and meet with you face to face. He comes to my house. My dad meets him. My wife meets him. We have an 8-9 hour meeting together at the house because of what perspective he had that caused Iran to fall. Some of that is documented in this book. Again, this is a fiction book based on true stories. If the topic of Iran, the revolution, leadership interests you, I think you would really enjoy reading this book, The Academy. You can go to Amazon or a QR code here to order the book. I look forward to having you read it and posting a review on Amazon because I read every single one of them. Enjoy the read. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.